Did she win something for Birdman? No, she was nominated for Birdman. Cut that
out. It wasn't her.
Sorry, repeat that. I don't want to sound stupid. Wait, start when I stop talking. Okay, stop talking, Rebecca. Let him... Okay. Hi everybody, welcome back to Movies on the Move. We just saw Battle of the Sexes.
Many of you might know this movie from the trailer by seeing Emma Stone and Steve Carrell in their best 70s attire. But it's also based on a true story. Billie Jean King, famous woman tennis player, and Bobby Riggs, a male tennis player.
His whole thing is that he feels very small at this point in his life, and he wants to feel good again. He wants to feel that sense of victory again, and the best thing he could come up with is beating the best female tennis player.
Most people who I feel like are actually really sexist, they aren't as joking about it.
And that was what really got me about another character in the film, Jack Kramer, who's a commentator, and he's also like a big wig in the sports in the freaking when the freaking tennis, what the hell? He had a say in their salary.
I think the main focus is on Billie Jean King. Even though she is the heroine of the film and you kind of know you're supposed to root for her, it still shows some of her flaws, showing her not only as a tennis player who's promoting women's rights and not only as a feminist of the time period, but also as a human being who's struggling with her own issues. Delves deeper really into both of their lives.
I thought that the costume design was impeccable. It really took me into that time period of the 70s. And even the kind of look of the cinematography, the way it was filmed, and the kind of color grading that they used, it really gave a sense that this was the 70s. Sometimes in period pieces that are shot nowadays, you can kind of still feel like this is 2017. Sometimes they look too digital. I don't know if they shot this on film or what they did, but they took into consideration the look and feel of the movie. There were only a few things that I thought didn't work. There was one scene in particular, I don't want to give it away, but it kind of gave this creepy, unsettling feeling, and that was the complete opposite of what was actually happening. I thought that it needed more sports in the beginning and leading up to the middle. I felt like there wasn't enough tennis. And I'm like, is this a sports movie or what the hell are we doing here? But the reason for that was because it really was building up to the big moment in the climax. In the beginning, you have this really cool opener where the shutter speed is adjusted and it's got all this motion blur, and you see her playing tennis and you only see her, you don't even see her opponent. I liked that as an opener, and then I was like, well, what happened? Where's the sports? And I'm not even a sports person. I'm like, where the hell's the sports? I felt like we needed more close-ups. They were all kind of wide shots. Your classic wide shot when you're watching a game.
Maybe because Steve Carell and Emma Stone couldn't
not athletes.
couldn't actually play tennis. And if they did close-ups, then it would be clear that it wasn't them. But it felt to me, having seen tennis on TV before, that it felt very slow. I did feel a little bit like I was bouncing around kind of at some points from one scene to the next. I felt like I wasn't in the same place for long enough at some points. The editing could have been tighter in points, and there could have been more in points.
I thought Emma Stone did really well. Boy, she's really grown on me this last year, because I did not like her up until this last year. I still feel like I wanted more from her.
She always wants more from her. I did think that Emma Stone and Steve Carell both brought their B+, A- game. It wasn't her La La Land moment, but it was a nice performance by her and Steve Carell. And again, this wasn't Steve Carell's strongest performance. I think his strongest performance was in Foxcatcher.
Oof, hot freaking.
But who did bring her A+ game was the one and only Sarah Silverman.
My freaking goodness. From the moment she came on screen, I was like, who is that woman with that little 60s hairdo walking around with the freaking gray streak?
Fred Armisen was just randomly there.
That was random.
I was like, okay, good to see you, Fred, but what are you doing here?
All around, I was engaged throughout the entire time. Literally, I'm engaged, but it kept my attention. It was a solid film, and it's something that I would watch again. I give it 4 stars.
Yeah, I also give it 4 stars, especially at the end. I thought the end was a strength. You definitely are built up to that match. You definitely are.
Yeah.
If you don't know the history of what happens.
But I just can't get over that I've never heard of this match, and I've never heard of this at all. I mean, one way I'm glad, because I went into the movie knowing nothing, and I was still surprised, and I wasn't sure, who won. So if you've never heard of this match, I would recommend don't go on Google right now and look up who won and try to find out everything before the movie. Let yourself experience the film, and then do your research after, which I will do. But I can't believe I've never heard of this. Alright, let us know. Did you see Battle of the Sexes? What did you think of it? Let us know down in the comments.
Who were you rooting for in the tennis match?
Yeah.
Who would win an actual tennis match, Emma Stone or Steve Carell? And has anyone seen new hot Steve Carell?
See you next time.